Right. 30 January 2026. And today I'm excited to be giving you the morning update, the most action-packed news for Zimbabwe and Africa, across Africa. So today I've got a lot of news to cover. And I want to take you through some of the most important things that will be happening in Zimbabwe, particularly as we enter the return of Mnangagwa. So Mnangagwa is officially going to be back in office. Next week on Monday, the 2nd, we expect Mnangagwa to be back in the office. And Mnangagwa is expected to make certain changes in his team. So Mnangagwa has already announced around the 14th that he's going to change his team. And some of the changes are now coming out. So people are now starting to talk. And particularly, yesterday, there's been reports that the Zimbabwe intelligence chief, Fulton Mangwanya, is going to be fired. So they're going to fire him for a number of reasons. And I'm going to take you through those reasons. So Mangwanya was appointed a year ago on the 3rd of January after the dismissal of the previous chief of the CIO, Isaac Moyo. Isaac Moyo was fired during the time when it was, or the factional battles in ZANU-Pf were their highest point. So Mangwanya's dismissal is not based on factions, but it's based on ED 2030. So it is said in these reports, which are obviously private or secret reports from intelligence sources, that Mangwanya is being accused of not being effective in kickstarting activities linked to ED 2030. That is the extension of Mnangagwa's term to 2030. He's also being accused of not distributing resources properly. So he's not distributing resources to divisions that need those resources. And generally, Mnangagwa wants someone who's more effective, who's going to push the agenda for ED 2030. Mangwanya was appointed by Mnangagwa from ZANU-Pf. So that is, he was a Director General of the Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority from 2017 to 2025. Then he was moved to the CIO. Previously, he was in Mnangagwa's office or in the president's office from 1988, where he was an assistant director before he moved to ZANU-Pf. So basically, he is someone who went from the president's office, went to ZANU-Pf, became a director, and then came back into ZANU-Pf, and they see him as being ineffective. So basically, that is why he's being fired. He's not being effective. And there was a meeting which was held, which is called an end-of-year briefing, and his leadership was questioned. So I do not know who was in that end-of-year briefing, but it is said that during that briefing, there were concerns raised about how he's operating and that he's marginalizing operational planning and resourcing, and agents had grievances, they had passed grievances to Mnangagwa. So that is what it is right now, nothing more, nothing less to add. Let's see what happens. Mnangagwa is expected to fire a bunch of people and also to appoint new people. So in January, normally Mnangagwa appoints people and disappoints others. But the changes are normally wide-ranging. So last year, all the security structures were affected. So that is the army, intelligence, prisons, everyone was affected. And this year, we have heard this about intelligence, but I believe that there will be more changes that are going to take place from Mnangagwa. All right, I think we've covered that. Let's quickly go into the news. And I want to start with Tagwirei. So Tagwirei is the Zimbabwean billionaire. He is in the news almost all the time. And yesterday, Tagwirei has donated $3,000 for the funeral of popular pastor and Harare constituent coordinator, Ngoni Gatsi, who passed away in head-on collision this week. So Tagwirei has sent ZANU-Pf officials to make the donation. As you know, that Tagwirei is in Harare Central, ZANU-Pf. So he's part of ZANU-Pf Harare Central, and he has sent a group of ZANU-Pf leaders to make a donation of $3,000. So I'm not sure when the burial is going to take place, but that donation has been made. You can go and check out the tweet from Tagwirei's platform. It's called the Central Committee member of the Harare Province, Dr. Kuda Tagwirei, assisted the Gatsi family with a pledge of $3,000 towards the covering the funeral expenses of Mike, Abel, and Ngoni Gatsi in Warren Park. So what happened is that the three are the father, the son, and the brother. They were driving, and my understanding is that they hit a pothole, and then their car swept into the way of an oncoming combi, and three people in the car passed away, which is Ngoni and the brother and the father. And then one person died from the taxi. And as I said, the state of the roads are very, very bad. So Tagwirei making that donation, and obviously Tagwirei playing a very important role in terms of what he's doing right now. Tagwirei is probably the most visible person in ZANU-Pf. And then let's quickly look at other news. Today we've got a very important event. It's called the Cell Day of ZANU-Pf. So Mnangagwa has ordered every single member of ZANU-Pf, including Politburo, Central Committee, and any other level, from the top to the bottom. Mnangagwa has ordered everybody to go to their cell. So Machacha has made the announcement, and Mnangagwa himself is going to be at Pre-Cape Farm with his whole family. So this morning, Mnangagwa and his whole family are going to be at Pre-Cape Farm. By the end of this day, you are going to see something that you've never heard, something you've never seen, because every single ZANU-Pf member must be in their rural home. So we're going to see Chiwenga at Wedza. We're going to see Vice President Mohadi at Bedbridge. We're going to see Opam Chinguri at a village. We're going to see, who else am I leaving? A lot of people at the villages. We expect every single person to be at the village, and that is an order by Mnangagwa. So if you are a member of ZANU, just start driving right now. You need to be in your village. If you are not at yourself, if you are not verified, there are serious consequences that are coming. And then Magaya, Prophet Walter Magaya, who is currently in jail, has made an application for bail at the High Court. So we expect that to be heard either today or on Monday. So Magaya has been arrested on trumped up charges. So Magaya is not guilty at all. So let me explain to you the situation with Magaya. Magaya made a sermon about ED 2030, saying Mnangagwa should not go to 2030. And that is when his troubles started. However, I have managed to speak to one of the victims. So what I will do is, if they agree, I'm going to bring them on Gambakwe, then you can hear all about it. These are stories from 2014, 2016. These are old stories. It's not a new thing. Nothing of this is new. So that is crazy. I've never seen anything like it. It's almost as if someone is going after him. Magaya was so close to Wikino 2 months before he was arrested. Wikino gifted him 600,000 worth of gifts. Auxilia Mnangagwa was all over him. Even Mnangagwa himself had a tour of Magaya's village. So this is crazy. I can't believe that they have turned on him like this. And then let's go to accidents. We've had a serious accident taking place. Yesterday, the DNC bus from Cape Town had an accident. So if you are traveling from Cape Town to Zimbabwe, it's best to fly. This is one of the most dangerous roads ever. So we had an accident from DNC buses, and I do not know how many people have passed away. However, because of the state of roads, there are numerous accidents taking place in Zimbabwe. We've had a massive accident taking place in Bulawayo yesterday, where a taxi or a combi has gotten or has flown off the road and slammed into 19 people who were on the side of the road, vendors who were selling on the side of the road. 2 died on the spot, and you can go and check out that report from Mayor David Coulthard. So this is terrible. I can't believe what's happening with our roads. It's almost every road in Zimbabwe has been washed away. And you saw the scenes that played out in Parliament yesterday, where parliamentarians were asking the ministers what's happening with the money for the road. The West Road right now, in fact, the West roads are the biggest roads, which Tagwirei is supposed to be fixing. So we've got the road from Harare to Chirundu. If you drive on that road at night, you die. The road from Bedbridge to Harare, if you drive on that road at night, you die. The road from Bedbridge to Bulawayo. If you drive on that road, budget 12 hours to travel 400 kilometers. So we've got a terrible state. We're not even talking of the small roads. So these are the smaller roads. They're terribly washed away and very dangerous. And then this morning, the Zimbabwe Mirror is reporting that Barbara Rwodzi is set to remove a chief in Masvingo. So this is so terrible. This chief has done nothing. He was appointed last year. And according to reports, Barbara Rwodzi has been mobilizing yesterday a bunch of ZANU-Pf people. And she wants him to be removed because she says he's a member of the opposition. So if you go to the Zimbabwe Mirror, you will see that this is Chief Chirumanzu. Chief Chirumanzu is being accused of being close to the opposition. So they want to remove him. So by the end of the day today, we should be able to know if Barbara Rwodzi has managed to do it. She's been interfering in a lot of activities and playing a very factional role within Masvingo. I think she's probably the worst person right now. So according to this report, a district development coordination meeting, which is part of the SAL day, will be held today after those accusations. And Abraham Marufunyamandi, who is obviously the chief from about a year ago, has been accused and they want him to be removed. He was installed in July, as I said, and they're saying that it doesn't matter that he was appointed legally, he just needs to go because it's not ZANU. So that is Chief Chirumanzu over there, and very sad to see this happening. ZANU-Pf, when they go after chiefs, these guys have to leave their homes, and sometimes they have to go and stay in the mountains just to avoid being killed. So at the height of the disturbances in Zimbabwe in 2008, most chiefs were living in the mountains for fear of being killed. And now this seems to have started again. People like Barbara Rwodzi Pasinawo, Waka Broker, so they are not good at all in the community. I do not know what authority Barbara has got to do such a thing. So let's make sure that the chiefs are protected and are not touched by these evil people. And then let's go to other things. I want to quickly look at Nelson Chamisa. So Nelson Chamisa has been quiet after he made an announcement, and a serious prophecy has been issued on Chamisa. I normally don't talk about prophecies anymore. I leave that to the new guys. But a serious prophecy has been issued on Nelson Chamisa by Prophet Shiloh. So Prophet Shiloh is a very serious prophet. When he says something, it happens. So let me show you what he said about Nelson Chamisa. Watch this very carefully. And this is something people are watching. Lots of people have gone to this.
I see a round table now. And this man is invited on a round table. What is a round table? It means discussions. Yes. And what was the invitation of the round table? It's for a pact, or what we call a union. All right? So this man is coming back. And when he's coming back, there are events that will transpire in this nation, which will lead for a table to be set. And that table, then this man is going to be invited on that table. And when he's invited on that table, he's invited for a union. All right? And then I went on to say, when he comes back and is invited on this union, there are some people who will say that there are people who will speak the words of nakedness, which are aligned in my prophecy of the past.
Okay, so go check it out. So many people have watched this. Nelson Chamisa to be exposed. There will be a torn trousers. Secrets of a torn trousers. Go and check it out. And I don't know what is the secret of the torn trousers that is going to be revealed about Nelson Chamisa and why people around him are going to complain. But this is a continuation of a prophecy on Nelson Chamisa, one of the most popular people you have ever seen in Zimbabwe. There is no person in Zimbabwe as popular as Nelson Chamisa. Then let's go to the embassies. So yesterday, Barbara Rwodzi has visited the German embassy over here. She's also going to be traveling with Opam Chinguri to Germany. The United States Embassy has announced the Fulbright Scholarship. So US Embassy Harare invites applicants for the 2027 Fulbright Foreign Student Scholarship with the deadline of April 30. And if you want to go to the application, take this very post that I'm making now, point your phone at that QR code there, and you'll be able to go to the exact place where you need to go. Otherwise, you have to go to the US Embassy Harare, a link over here, and then you apply for the Fulbright scholarship. If you're South African, there's a similar scholarship, and I'll share this for you on the Gambakwe Facebook page so that you guys can go over there and get it. And then obviously the US Embassy has also announced the cricket team of the United States over here. So go check it over there. And then let's go to the birthdays. Stride Masiwa is celebrating his birthday. So that is yesterday. And almost the same day is another billionaire, who is South African billionaire, Patrice Motsepe. So these two guys have got birthdays right next to each other. And then the Zimbabwe PSL, Premier Soccer League program has been announced. It's going to be starting in February. So in February, we have the first match, which is the Castle Challenge Cup. And then we've got match day 1 to match day 29 and 31, all the way up to June. So these are the programs that have been set up by the Zimbabwe PSL. And sadly, our soccer players, our former soccer players, are being made to dance for ZANU, and Gibson Homela has become the latest person to come out in support of Mnangagwa. So now we have Gibson Homela, we've got all the other top players supporting Mnangagwa's 2030 agenda so that they can get cars. So Mnangagwa has started handing out cars again. You saw what has happened with Sandy Chidzambwa, and now Gibson Homela, I think that is with his wife, begging for a car from Mnangagwa and saying that they support Mnangagwa's 2030 agenda. So said. And then police in Ngai are looking for this man. This man has killed his girlfriend at Ngai. So these are South African based people. And what happened is that the man that you're looking at there was staying in South Africa. He met a woman from Zimbabwe. They had an affair in South Africa. And it turns out that he was married. So when she found out that he was married, she then left and went back to Zimbabwe. That is, Stelinkos Masuku is the guy from Ezinyangen. Guy is wanted in connection with the murder of Princess Janet Magonya Yakamela. So she's the relative of one of the chiefs in Matabeleland, and she was killed at a lodge where she was working. So if you know this guy, he is said to be on the way to run away and go into South Africa. Stelinkos Masuku. Catch him if you can and send him to the police at Ngai. We know that the police are ineffective. They are unable to do anything. There are so many people who have escaped. No one has been captured because the police don't have capacity. So the Zimbabwe police don't have capacity to do anything, which is sad. And then we've got South Africa. Let's go quickly to South Africa. I show you a very important thing that has happened in South Africa yesterday. So an investigation has now started. So President Cyril Ramaphosa has ordered an investigation into 14 top police and army and intelligence officials after they were implicated in criminal activities with criminals. So they are moving around the criminals, and the 14 high-ranking officials are Lesesha Senona, KZN head of Hawks, Major General Richard Shibiri, Brigadier Mbangwa Ngwashu, Brigadier Rashid Nateng, Sergeant Fanny Nkosi, Police Department Chief, Julius Mkwanazi, Bafana Twala, Elderman Mackenzie, and Kisha Lee Stores. However, the Minister of Police, Senzo Mutunu, and Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibia are not on the list. So these are the people who are supposed to be investigated for working with syndicates and also for infiltration of criminal syndicates into law enforcement. So this is what is going to happen. And we hope that this investigation will result in their departure. So very criminal activities taking place in South Africa. The biggest criminals in this country are the police, are intelligence. In fact, there has been a recommendation to totally disband South African intelligence and start from scratch because they are so infiltrated by criminal syndicates that there's no difference between the criminals and the police. So that is how bad it is in this country. And then let's quickly look at other things here. The IMF is in Zimbabwe. So if you look at the IMF, we go to Financial Gazette, the International Monetary Fund Chief of Zimbabwe, Wojciech Maliswezik. Sorry, I got that right. Maliswezik and his team are in the country on a 1-week mission running from yesterday, 4 February, to 4 February, to discuss the staff monitored program, including the macro fiscal framework. So the Zimbabwe economy has collapsed, it has crashed. Without gold, there is nothing is taking place in Zimbabwe. 70% of Zimbabwe's revenue is coming from gold. Gold is reached its highest level of 5,500 yesterday. However, there is no production, government operations are not functional, and to make any money, they have to sell gold. When gold crashes or collapses, which is happening very soon, after these wars are finished, you're going to see a collapse of gold. And gold does crazy stuff. If you don't know gold, you don't know gold. Gold is crazy. It can go to 1,600 like that. And if that happens, you will see what will happen. There will be a terrible crash of the Zimbabwean economy, because at the moment, it's just driving what is happening in Zimbabwe. All right, let's quickly look at the newspapers. We want to look at the Chronicle newspaper. Let me start with the Chronicle Zimbabwe. Have they published? They publish every single day. So Chronicle Zimbabwe is the biggest newspaper in Matabeleland, so they haven't published. Let's look at Manica Post and see what is Manica Post. Manica Post hasn't published. Let's go to H Metro newspaper and see if they published. Manica Post is published and they are leading with some local stories, so I'm not going to be covering that. Let's look at South African newspaper, the Sowetan, and see if they published. So the Sowetan newspaper is leading with the same story of the investigation. Let's look at the Star. So the investigation of the 14 senior officials. And then let's go to the Star newspaper, the biggest newspaper in the whole of South Africa. This is in Gauteng. Gauteng is the richest province in Africa. There's no province in the whole of Africa as rich as Gauteng. In fact, we've got what is called the richest square mile in Africa, which is Sandton. And then let's look what is being said here. So the same thing, top 14 cops to be investigated. However, I want to show you what has happened with interest rates. So let's go to business. The South African Reserve Bank has kept interest rates stable. So they're not moving the interest rates. And what they've said, and let's go to the story here. So this is the South African Reserve Bank Governor, Lesesha Kanyako. He says inflation has reached 3.6 in December, driven largely by temporary factors, but is now expected to slow. So my view on this, and I've got very strong views on the South African economy. So my view is that the South African Reserve Bank has got the wrong policy, totally wrong policy. The interest rates are too high, and you cannot have high interest rates in a low growth environment. So South Africa is a low growth environment. They cannot have high interest rates. But to make matters worse, you cannot have a low growth environment and a strong currency environment that they have right now, and then keep high interest rates high. So what is basically going to happen is just people are just going to start importing. And that is what is happening in South Africa. Nothing in this country is made in this country. I can assure you that if you look at anything in your house in South Africa, probably cooking oil and pulp and all those small things are made in South Africa. The clothes on your back, the shoe on your foot, anything, the car you drive is coming from outside of South Africa. And a high or a strong currency is terrible for South Africa. They're not going to do well with this kind of approach. They need to push these interest rates down hard so that people don't import stuff and people make things locally. Businesses can borrow and make money. At the moment, interest rates are shooting up, especially short-term credit is terrible. Businesses are collapsing and closing. And especially those who have borrowed in South African rand and need to pay back in dollars. It's crazy. It's unbelievable what is happening. It cannot be believed what is happening in this country. I've never seen anything like this. And services are collapsing. I have not had water at my house for 2 full days. Like I had to go and bath at a gym. And that is because the infrastructure is collapsed. The roads are full of potholes. And this is South Africa, especially around Johannesburg. Things are not working at all. And they don't know the signs. This is a sign, a bad sign of what is going to come around here, especially with this low growth that is happening and high unemployment. So high unemployment, low growth, high interest rates, strong currency. That is a recipe for disaster. And the Reserve Bank more interested in the numbers to appear as if they're doing well. But gold, obviously helping. South Africa is benefiting immensely from the gold price. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done well without it. And South Africa and Zimbabwe, probably the only 2 countries with so much gold. They are benefiting a lot. And then let's go to the Citizen. I want to quickly look at the Citizen and see if there's anything here in the Citizen. Stop wasting our money. That is what they have here. And then let's see if there's anything else. And I want to quickly look at, let's see if there's anything in health. Nothing in health. Nothing else here. Nothing to see. Let's quickly go to Mail and Guardian. Friday is the biggest day. I've got 200 newspapers in front of me right now, which I have not even read because I am so busy with other things. So let's see what is Mail and Guardian. Mail and Guardian, I don't see Mail and Guardian here. That used to be, I think that used to be Trevor Ngobe's paper. If there's anything, I'll give it to you guys on Gambakwe.com. And then in Malawi, Malawi is going through a lot. Let's see if there's anything from Malawi. Malawi Times is over here and it says MEC defies APM order. Right. I think, let me show you Malawi. Malawi is crazy. So I want to show you Malawi, what's going on in Malawi. So Malawi is facing a low or a weak currency and also high inflation. So this crazy story in Malawi has never been seen before. So these are Malawians in front of you. 4 out of 5 people arrested on June 27 on suspicion of being involved in the exhumation of the grave of Maunsamata Zakaria, a person with albinism from Kombela village, have pleaded guilty to all charges brought against them. Guys, this is crazy what's happening in Malawi. So people with albinism in Malawi are under siege. People are going out there, and I don't want to explain what they're doing. You must go and Google because it's so crazy. You've never seen anything of that nature that happens. These guys are so suspicious or superstitious. They believe that this thing they're doing is going to give them fortune. These guys are like an endangered species in Malawi, and they're being used for these herbal and traditional practices. So right now, there is a big problem. And this is just one case right now of what has happened to people with albinism in Malawi. In fact, if you've got albinism in Malawi, it's just better to leave because you'll be killed. That is how bad it is. It is crazy what is happening in Malawi. And Malawi, you know, is one of the places where they love medicine. They love muti too much. And that is what is causing all this crazy stuff that's happening over there. So let's go to our people, and we're going to start. I was planning to move to Malawi, but I changed my mind. I'm not going. It's crazy. So let's look to, I'll never go to Malawi now. Like I won't even visit. So let's look at other people here on Facebook. We're going to start with Chidosa Nyatwe. So a national hero declaration has been made yesterday. So Chidosa Nyatwe is making an announcement over here. So Chidosa Nyatwe, one of the only houses with 2 ministers in one house. So let's see what she is saying. She's saying here, rest in peace, warfighter, Comrade Kanengoni Clever. So Kanengoni Clever has been declared a provincial hero. Let me see if it's provincial or what. He has been conferred liberation war status by President E.D. Mnangagwa following his passing on 27 January. So he will be laid to rest on the 30th of January 2026, that's today, at Nyamapeni village under Headman Sanai, Chief Katerere, Nyanga North Constituency in Manicaland province. So please go over there and check the National Hero Declaration of Anengoni Clever. our comrade, war veterans are dying every single day. And then let's go to Hopo. What does Hopo say? Hopo is one of my favorite people. Listen to the drums. This was the 1978. Rest in peace, General Dennis Brown. Dennis Brown has passed away according to Hopo Chingono. Go check it out. And Chingono, very active in South African politics right now. And then Luciano is going to be touring. He's obviously, Hopo has got a big following on Facebook. And then let's go to Minnie. What is Minnie saying today? Minnie is one of the best people in our country. She has said nothing today. And then we'll look at President Hakainde Hichilema. He's facing an election. And I'll be over there. This afternoon, we joined fellow African leaders for the third session of the AU Reform Committee, chaired by His Excellency, President William Samoei Ruto of Kenya. So this is, let's see who is over there. Ghana, we've got Zambia, we've got Tanzania, we've got Jean. Where is the Zimbabwe guy? I don't see the Zimbabwe guy. He's not part of it. And then let's look at other people. Which other president do I want to look at here? Let's look at President Dumaboko. President Dumaboko has issued a statement. And let's say the Minister of Health, Dr. Stephen Modise, delivers a public address. But this is not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about his call with the President of France. So President Dumaboko has had a call with President Macron. Is it Macron? That's crazy. Let me look at whether it's Macron or not. Because these presidents, they change like, I don't know. But he has had a call, and Botswana presidency has made the announcement. So if you want to follow President Dumaboko, you go to Dumaboko, or you can also go to Botswana presidency, one of the most active accounts. So just go check it out there. That is 29 January 2026. Advocate Duma Gideon Boko holds a telephone conversation with President Emmanuel Macron of France. So that is President Dumaboko, one of my favorite presidents. You can go and have lunch with President Dumaboko. You can sit with him, and you come back feeling better. You won't be killed, unlike others. And then let's go to the snake catchers. Snakes are all over now in Zimbabwe. Snake, nyoka, they're all over the place. So if you want someone to help you with removing a snake at your house, there is a list that has been produced of all the snake catchers in Zimbabwe. I hate snakes. So look at this list. And if you've got a phone, screen grab this and keep it in your phone. So all the snake catchers in Harare, Bulawayo, Vic Falls, Chitungwiza, Kwekwe, Chiredzi, Mutare, Marondera, and Kadoma Chegutu are over here. Screen grab this and keep it so that if there's a snake at your house, you just call the guys. Don't kill the snake. Don't kill the snake. Fascinating yoga. All right. And then let's go to what else do I want to cover? All right. Let's look at the comments very quickly. Morning. I should do it a President Dere. Mangwana Chigananda. Mnangagwa Chigananda. Dumungwenya. I long time. All the prophets are liars. And then I'm sure you are happy. I am, but I'm high. And then so you're saying it was because of Rod's nonsense, and then no problem. He was buried yesterday. Who was buried yesterday? Gatsi. Yes. Okay, I didn't know that. But what a nice young man, loved by everybody in the opposition and also in ZANU-Pf. So ZANU-Pf people are very strange. Like if you meet ZANU-Pf people in most embassies, they get confused. When they meet ZANU-Pf people, they get shocked how smart and clever these guys are. If you sit with ZANU-Pf guys, there are no more people like they. I don't know why they can't manage anything, but they are so smart. So you sit with leadership from ZANU-Pf. They are articulate, they talk, but something is just not joining. Something is not happening by ZANU. They can't get this thing together. The Zimbabwean economy is a mess, and the outlook of our country is so bad. I don't know why they can't fix this simple thing. They should be able to fix it, but they don't. Then let's finally go to X. I want to look at First Lady of Zimbabwe. So Oxila Mnangagwa is one of my best people. I like it because she's fighting drugs. I hate drugs. If you're in drugs, you're my enemy. You're my enemy. yakubata ndokurane shambu inemunyu. So let's look at Magaya. Magaya is applying for bail. So the trial, what. So if you can go to Newswalks, I don't think they're talking about the bail application. So there's a bail application that is taking place over there. And then let's look at First Lady of Zimbabwe, and then we'll look at Chamisa. So the rest of the people right now are just joking. They're not serious. We want serious people. So First Lady of Zimbabwe, during my national ongoing campaign, I went to Mashonaland East, Central, and Manicaland and Masvingo. I engaged the Midlands community of Chief Gwesela's court in Njombe. So Chief Gwesela, look at that soldier. Why is a soldier sitting down? A soldier is not supposed to sit down at all. I don't know why a soldier is sitting down. But look at that. Look at Chief Gwesela at his court. So I used to go to school with one of the Gwesela kids when I was at Mzingwana High. And he was one of the funniest guys. At that time, there was a dissident called Gwesela. So we used to make so much fun of him. But indeed, the Chief Gwesela in Njombe, that is the homestead of the famous dissident Gwesela. So that is where she was, First Lady of Zimbabwe. And as I said, she's doing a lot of work on drugs. Drugs are evil. Don't do drugs. Drugs are evil. Then let's go to Nelson Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa has not said anything. He's quiet. Uriere Chamisa. Panombono ere Chamisa. Amunawe. Amunawe. Panombono ere Chamisa. So we expect Chamisa to come back and speak and launch his leadership team. However, many of the people that work with Chamisa have run away from him. They are making mistakes, but they have run away from him. I understand that Prince Dubeko has joined the group with the Timber. He's joined the group with the BT. He's joined the group with the Scala. He's joined the group with all these people, Gusai, and that guy, what is that guy from ZANU? Ibo Mandaza. So he has joined all these people. And Chamisa is going to have to start with a clean slate. And I believe that we are now going to see the rise of young men, Ostalos. I believe that Ostalos is going to rise. I believe that Chibaya is going to rise. And I believe that we're going to see Dr. Shumba playing a big role, although he's so much in the background. I don't understand Dr. Shumba. He's always in the background. And I want a woman. We want a woman at the top. So Chamisa, put a woman at the top. Pass now. So that is great to do that, Chamisa, and people will love you. We are looking forward to it. I have no doubt that Chamisa is going to cause chaos this time around. I don't know what Chiwenga is going to do with this man, because Chiwenga was popular and is popular with the ZANU-Pf and external opposition members. ZANU-Pf is organized, is big, but Chamisa is a different kind of animal. What is Chiwenga going to do with Chamisa? Chamisa and Chiwenga, they're the only people who can challenge each other. If you put anyone else, if you put Tagwirei, Tagwirei won't even manage 1 million votes. I can assure you, even if we say we give everyone 1 million, Tagwirei won't be able to manage 1 million votes. That's why they have to wait and extend. And then I want to end with Nyoka Mabunu. Guys, we need to raise money for him to have food. So Nyoka Mabunu needs food. I have offered myself here that if you buy our special, which is Valentine's special, you buy one Mve, we give you 2 imported perfumes. That is if you're in South Africa and Zimbabwe. Please go to our office. So go to my office and buy. My guy's office is the number over here. So you just WhatsApp that number. Use 2 numbers. If you're in South Africa, the South African number. If you're in Zimbabwe, the Zimbabwean number. And then we'll deliver for you. We want to raise 2,000 rands to give to Nyoka. So if you buy, I will send that money. The guys in the UK, send us your money on Mukuru over here. We want to make sure that we get Nyoka to have food. He doesn't have food right now. We need to make sure that every month he gets food. And I've been neglecting this. So please assist us as much as possible. He's been arrested to protect you. Without you and without Nyoka, this regime, Mnangagwa, they would have been walking in the park. Right now, they have to think it twice before they do anything. That is because of people like Nyoka. Nyoka Mabunu doing so well, but being in jail. He's going to do so well. He's going to be one of the leaders in future. And on the 9th of February, we're going to be in court, the Constitutional Court, stopping Mnangagwa, stopping Ziyambi. Ziyambi is a criminal. He is pushing for ED to go to 2030 without going through a referendum. So meet us at the Constitutional Court of Zimbabwe at 9:30 on the 9th of February. And let's stop this madness that is about to happen in our country. He's a criminal. So Ziyambi is a criminal. He belongs in jail. All right. I would like to thank all of you for watching. I'll see you guys a little bit later. That is, if anything happens. So normally we come here when there's breaking news. I monitor everything. Please support us, support Nyoka, and let's make our country great. Zimbabwe is one of the biggest countries. Don't listen to all these guys who are saying ED 2030, who are singing for a car. We are going to have one of the best countries. Within the next 5 years, Zimbabwe is going to do so well. And don't get tired at the end. Don't be like Muganu. Don't be like Professor Muganu, who is now singing for his supper. That is so sad. I would like to thank all of you for watching, and a good day.